been requested yet. I'm trying to figure that out. Now it should be going on. Also, Blue Gilmon, welcome and hello, welcome to the stream. So I don't know how this whole song request thing is working because now I'm with another program. I don't know why I don't stick to one single program. Could you boys try requesting those songs again? Because so far they have not yet shown up in here. I know that this is not super nice, but yeah. Oh, okay. I see what's going on. The problem is it's depending on Nightbot to request a song. It's not the Streamlabs song requester. Oh, fuck if I know why this goes like this. And here we go. Music! Courtesy of Kaze. Whatever this is, it's your song, Kaze. And Blue Gilmon found you on the front page of For Affinity. Very nice, dudes. Oof, thank you. I'm doing this page of a comic I've been meaning to finish since forever. So yeah, you guys just sit back and relax. Today is gonna be another chill art stream day. Because I've noticed you guys aren't super into me playing games. Besides, art is a thing I need to do more and more. So that's the plan for today. Like I said, the song request thing now seems to be working, so you guys can type in exclamation mark SR or song request, I don't know, and then the name of the song followed by the artist or link to either Spotify shenanigans or the YouTube. Either work, it would seem. But other than that, how are you guys doing? It is a lovely Friday today, and like always I'm late with work. But I've been trying to put in some work. I got easily distracted with everything else, and that's how my Friday has been going so far. What about you? How are you guys doing? Also, hey, Stu the Tiger! So long since I last seen you! So very long. How are you doing? Also, welcome to the stream. And you're doing good. I'm doing very good myself as well. Today's a very warm day. Earlier today it was 30 degrees Celsius, which is very hot. Now it's a bit chillier because I cranked up the air conditioning unit to make sure the whole inside of my house becomes a popsicle or something. So it's more bearable. Besides, it's 4 in the afternoon, so the sun is shining right in my window right now. So it's gonna take a while before things truly start to cool down. But other than that, I'm doing pretty okay-ish. Could be doing better, but I also could be doing a whole lot worse. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good altogether. Still, you've been so busy / ill, though now you're feeling much better and you've got just over a week off work now. That's lovely. That's a whole week of you being home and enjoying nice things for a while. I hope you do enjoy that time. that time off work and have shitloads of fun doing whatever it is you do to entertain yourself. Also, Kaze, what do you think of the song Kim Sensi? I enjoyed it. It was a pretty good song. I'm not super paying attention to the song right now because I'm a confused dog. I'm very bamboozled, always bamboozled, so I'm not super paying attention to everything. Actually, I mean, I'm trying to pay attention to this drawing of the comic and what you guys are saying in the chat, so the music isn't a huge concern. But it was enjoyable, I didn't get bothered by it. It was a pretty good song. Sam! Hey guys, what's up? Hey Sam, welcome to the stream. I'm doing more art today. How are you doing? And Still the Tiger, been so much snow here. We have Store Emma in the UK, your sister's name as well. It's been very cold and such. I forgot you're in the UK. It's pretty late up there, I guess. Well then, make sure you find warm things to snuggle to, because we don't want you to get another cold or something like that. But take good care of yourself. And Sam, yes, the song requests are on. Same thing as always, you guys go and type in !SR or ! song request, no spaces, and then the name of the song, and the bot will try and search on Spotify for that song and will return the first result as your song. Or you can type in the exact name of the song and the artist for more accurate results, or even better, you can copy and paste the link. Also, that does work too with YouTube songs and YouTube whatever. So song request, actually !song request or SR, and the link for your song or name an artist. Both work very well. And Sam, today went okay, you guess. What's up with today? Why it was okay? Also, hey Leo, welcome to the stream. It's still, now it's only 7:30 here. You will cuddle for warmth, sure. And Kaze, Bayonetta music is so good. Also, not gonna lie, I had a wet dream with her. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. But it is super understandable as well, so nobody's gonna judge you for that. Also, hey Laura, welcome to the stream. I'm doing art today.
Take the ribbon from your hair.
And how are you guys doing, Leo and Laura?
Let it fall.
How have you guys' days been so far? Also, Leo, it's been quite a while since we last heard of you. How's the situation over there? I mean, we did hear about you just the other day, but still, your situation is quite delicate, so constant updates are kind of a thing I've been expecting. Also, what a chill song is this? Super chill. Laura just got off of work, but hopefully you should be home the rest of the day. That's good. I don't see why you need to go back out. But yeah, hopefully you'll be able to stay home for the rest of the day and rest and stay warm,
Yesterday's dead,
pretty much.
and tomorrow's out of sight.
Also, Sam, today the physics teacher was tired, so he was super mean to everyone in class, but beside that, it was a pretty uneventful day. Alright then. The best kinds of days are the uneventful days when it comes to obligations and responsibilities. But yeah, it could always have been better. Oh Lord, they sometimes have you work a double shift. Oh no. Those don't sound fun, really. Also, to everyone who's just joined in or is kind of wondering what the hell is up with this whole page thing I'm doing, this is page 11 of my newest comic, the Comic Father comic. And it's not very spoilery. I mean, you guys can kind of tell what's going on from the emotions that these guys are using through their gestures and facial expressions. But there isn't a whole lot happening, so I don't think it's super spoilery as far as comic pages go. And as it will happen, every now and then I kinda get super late with comic pages. I should be doing them faster, or I should be buffering them, like having pages done way in advance for Patreon and everything else, but I don't, which is kinda sad. Also, my thing is going on. Just a moment. Forgot to turn this off. Fucking cell phone. Shit. I don't know if this is a thing or not, but apparently I'm also getting spam messages on my phone from the phone operator. But anyway, I should be buffering these pages up front on Patreon. What happens is that I do the Patreon page on the week I should be posting it, so every now and then problems happen. I run into personal issues or whatever, and I have those days where I don't want to do anything, so I end up becoming late with the page's releases. I mean, not late, but I don't have the page done by Friday, early morning. So this is what I'm doing here. I'm doing the page, comic page, right now. And it should have been posted already, so I'm gonna finish this and then get straight up to posting it, or doing something else, because if we have a few more time on the stream today, I'm gonna be doing some more art, I guess. I don't know what of, or for how long, but yeah, I intend to do a little bit more of art. Stu, now he's just saying, and he was this big. That's pretty big for whoever to be that big, but that's a possibility. Kaze, this ringtone reminds you of Crash theme. Crash Bandicoot or some other kind of Crash? I do remember there was a movie under that name a while ago, like a long while ago. But what exactly? And Sam, oh, it happens a lot. It happens with you through the phone messages. Yeah, it's been happening to me. Every now and then I get spam messages like, hey, pay just $3 more for infinite SMS messages for the rest of this month or whatever. And it's annoying. I don't know how telephones work on the rest of the world, but in here we have the prepaid plan and the postpaid plan for telephones, and the prepaid plan, which is the one I have, it works that I need to recharge my phone with credits, otherwise I can't do anything with it. And the postpaid service is... The postpaid is that you pay monthly a certain amount of money and you get to enjoy phone services. That's what's up. Also, once again, I've been disconnected from the chat, so I might have missed some of you guys' message. Still an equine, a horse, and cause a bandicoot. Yeah, it may sound like it. I don't know though. To me, it didn't. In fact, I don't even remember exactly how the Crash Bandicoot theme goes. Actually, go like or something like that. Oh, someday I'll get back to this alarm ringtone and I'll see how it goes. So, other than that, how are you guys doing? What's your plans for the rest of the day? Or rather, the weekend, since it's Friday. It's a lovely Friday today. I have no idea of what my plans for the weekend are gonna be. So I may end up doing all sorts of things or no thing at all this weekend. What about you guys? Also, like always, whenever I go to bed to get to sleep, I end up awake in bed for quite a long time trying to fall asleep, and in that meanwhile, I go about thinking about things. And yesterday I was thinking about stories, more things I should be doing and stories I should be writing, or rather illustrating. And I guess I never got to tell you guys about a visual novel game I've been wanting to do forever, or have I? I don't think I have. In any case. Lord, just gonna relax and play some games. That sounds fun. What games do you play or what? And Sam, oh, Nate wants to battle songs. Good choice, Lord. Because, yeah, that happens to you too. Still, you've been cleaning out your spare room. You live in a flat of your own. Oh, that's nice. And I'm pretty much in the process of moving consoles and PC in there, then just having a few cables through the wall to your TV and monitor, so you'll have a little office slash studio for kind of a entertainment room. It's pretty good. I wish I had one of that, but I live in a very, very small house, apartment rather. So there's no space for such fancy shenanigans in here. Cause I take about 30 minutes trying to sleep. I think about stories mostly. Yeah, same with me. Although whenever I try to think hard about stories I want to do, I end up thinking a whole lot about them, and it makes it even harder for me to sleep. So I think about stories just enough to distract myself, then I go and think about anything else. As if I try to actually think about the stories, like hardly, it'll be the reason I stay awake, not because my mind is racing at every single second. Nonetheless, I've been thinking about this visual novel thing I wanna do. Also, Schneez, did someone mention stories? Yes, we all mentioned stories. Also, welcome to the stream, how are you doing? Still pretty much no clutter in the main room. Yeah, that's the way houses should be. And Sam, when you want to sleep, you think about how should you continue your stories. It sometimes leads you to have dreams in them. Lauren, you mostly play RPGs. What RPGs though? I just bought today this game I've been wanting to play, Nier Automata. Nier 2. The Nier. And I think it's an RPG kind of. I've been wanting to play it, so now I finally got my chance. But yeah, the visual novel I've been kind of wanting to do is I'm not super sure if you guys are familiar with a couple, not a couple really, but some furry writers / game creators. Bane, who's doing Blackgate, and Dine Wolf, who's doing extracurricular activities. I wanted to do a visual novel kind of like that. Also kind of like that other one, I never remember the name. A super famous one, I never remember the name. Anyway, it would be kind of a dating simulator. Pretty much just go and talk up your guy until you guys fall in love or whatever. But I wanted to do it in a more grounded way, a more realistic kind of tone. And it would be set in this whole the Golden Week and the Call Me Daddy's universe, with the main place where it happens being the city where they are, New Lincoln, and mostly the Night Owl Cafe / bar that showed up in both comics. That would be the main place of this visual novel I've been wanting to do. And yeah, so far I never truly had in mind a story to tie the whole thing together, because the hugest problem of doing these kind of endeavors is that you need to have a story big enough for everything to fall in together. But last night I somehow randomly thought about the story, so I may start to write it up and illustrate it a thing or two eventually. And luckily within a decade or two, a few decades, I'll be having something that I can show you guys. As far as projects go. Schneez, you're good. It's nice to be back for an art stream. Yes, it's been quite some time since the last happened. I think it's been 2 weeks since my last art stream. But apparently people have been requesting these, and they have been wanting more art streams. So yeah, I guess this is what people want to see me do, not play games. And Kaze, oh, Nier is on your must playlist, waiting for a friend to bring it. What do you mean bring? But yeah, play it. I don't know anything about it, truly. I played the demo when it came out lots of months ago on the PlayStation 4. But other than that, I know nothing about the game. I know it's about robots. That's about it. Sam, oh, Backgate is awesome. I also play extracurricular activities. The name of the famous one is Marinazzo. Yes, that's the one. Also, hey Nathan, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? And Sam, you also love visual novels. I play a lot of those. That's good to know. A friend of mine, he's been super into, he's been really motivational, telling me to get on with making one of those. Because I told him I kinda wanted to make one of those, and he's been supplying me with resources day and night, like, hey, can't you do it? It's not super hard, you can do it. Which is great, to have people super believing on you. Feels like a little bit of pressure too, but it's great when people do believe in you, even if you don't believe in yourself. But anyway, lore, Final Fantasy Fire Emblem Tales of series. Those are nice series. Pretty long series with shitloads of games. Have you got around to playing the Persona series? I think that's the only RPG series I actually got to finish games on. It's pretty great, you should get to it if you haven't. Then again, I guess that nowadays most furries have played Persona series, or at least are very familiar with it. And Sam, people enjoy seeing me playing games, but everyone pretty much met you through art, so that's that every once in a while is a good thing. It's good. Yeah. I am an artist after all, not super big on playing games myself. Actually, I have a shitload of games I need to play. I just don't ever find the motivation to play the games anymore. Because over the years I kind of developed this mindset that most things I need to do with life has to be productive in some way. And playing games is the least productive thing you can do, pretty much. It's a good source of entertainment, and entertainment is good for you to relax your mind and feel refreshed to go on with life and other productive things. But there's a lot of games I've been wanting to play because people keep saying they're great, the story is awesome, or they're simply fun to play. But I don't see them as being productive ways to spend my time on, so I find myself not being able to enjoy playing games anymore. But the only way I found to go back into playing games and enjoying it was by streaming them. Because then I can have this kind of feeling that, hey, I'm playing games but I'm also being productive in a weird kind of way. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that's how my mind works, I guess. Also, I'm not super low here because I didn't sketch any kind of backgrounds, so that'll be tricky. Nathan, just back from work. Hey, welcome back home, or rather, welcome back. Sam, also another visual novel that is good, is Repeat and Echo. I have heard of Echo, never got to see that. I have seen it, I don't remember where exactly, but I have seen word of that visual novel. And I need to get to those eventually. Cause we believe in you through Fire Emblem, you played it. Lord, you started playing Persona 5, how are you finding it? I love the shit out of Persona 5. Nathan, furries play a lot of games, indeed they do. Lots of games. Nathan, you agree, you do not play because it's not productive. Instead, you make games, it is fun, productive, and it's games. Yeah, if I had more expertise, I would probably be spending my time doing games as well. Oh, this should not join this layer. But also, as a creator, I do know the value of researching and seeing what everyone else is doing. So I can't simply go, hey, I'm gonna make comics and completely ignore what everyone else is making. I have to go and read other comics as well, just to make sure that I know what's up and what's going on with people. Like what clicks, what doesn't, what works comic-wise, what doesn't. And I have to go and read other comics and read what other people are doing to see what the trends are, pretty much, and discover more comic making techniques, pretty much. So the same goes with games, I guess. If you want to be able to make good games, you need to play games other people have been making, and seeing what works and what doesn't. Because there is only so much you'll be able to create with the knowledge you already have. Eventually you do have to go out and play new things to see what's up and learn more about this crazy world of game development and, well, productiveness, creative work, and whatnot. Also, is the music too loud or too low? Kinda is a bit loud for me. My computer volume is lower than the default. The music's a little loud to me. If it's loud to you, do let me know. And I'll adjust the music, the volumes accordingly. Laura, you are enjoying it so far, just haven't had time to play it. It's a pretty lengthy game, so you should play whenever you have a lot of time, a free time in your hands, because it's not something you can simply go in and chuck in a few minutes of play. You need to have kinda of a free day or a free weekend to get around to playing it. It is that kind of game, unfortunately. But then again, so are most RPGs. Sam, the strongest visual novel that I have ever played was Diabolic's Lover. That thing is actually pretty heavy. Heavy as in thematically heavy, or it's too large and too lengthy, or how do you mean? And Lord, the only visual novel I ever played so far is Extracurricular Activity. I have heard very good things about it. In fact, I never got to play it truly myself, but I have heard pretty good things about it. Nathan, today you do not need the skills or knowledge to make a visual novel. All you need is a good story to tell and the character art. Yes, indeed. So long as it's a very good story and good character, good art and illustrations, yeah, you can go pretty far with it, as far as I have seen. Also, Ainsopf, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? I don't think I have ever seen you here before, so welcome, double welcome rather. Your last comic was lit, fam. Thank you. Actually, I have two last comics, so I don't know which one you're talking about, but thank you nonetheless. Fonzer, you have heard great things about it. extracurricular activities. Because yeah, I did find out he has an article on TV tropes, which is like a kind of a pseudo mainstream site for tropes and whatnot. But it's pretty much a Wikipedia, and if your thing isn't there, then probably a lot of people have heard of it. That's what I found. This is page 11. Let's go and color those little characters. Let's begin with some coloring, finally. Sam says, Nathan, that might be true, but if you want to make one that is different, you're gonna at least have some good programming skills. And ain't stop, you're doing good. That's good to know. I'm first time here, so yeah. All the welcomes to you. And I hope you enjoyed this random art stream. Actually not random, I do this very often. But yeah, welcome. There is a song request function. If you'd like to request a song, you do exclamation mark SR and the name of the song or the link for the YouTubes or the Spotify's, and you'll be able to, and you'll be requesting songs in no time. That actually rhymes. What do you know? And daddy issues. So the Call Me Daddy comic. Well, thank you. I did another comic also, the Golden Week. Nonetheless. Nathan, no, you can take a Tyranno builder and you do not need code or programming. Yeah, I don't know. But you do have a point. Nowadays you don't need a shitload of computer knowledge to go and make a visual novel yourself. You can use tools available online. If you're really inventive, you can even do a visual novel with RPG Maker. It is possible. And Sam, you mean the minions in the game has heavy subjects and the series is pretty long? Oh, I see. Never heard of it nonetheless. Also, Terry, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? It's been a shitload of time since I last seen you. What's up? Funzer says Mirai Nikki. Is this the song that is playing right now, or is it the something else you wanted to bring up? Because that name is familiar. I don't remember where it's familiar from, but it is familiar nonetheless. I do remember back when I lived in São Paulo. There were some furries that were super into anime things and weird things altogether. So there were some very quote-unquote underground animes, and they were super good at finding those and disseminating the knowledge about them. So I do remember there was an anime of that was super heavy. It started out as a cute anime, and then it became super heavy with one of the characters dying, like in the third episode, like gruesomely dying. Yeah, spoiler alert. I think it was Sudoka Magica Girls, something like that. I don't remember the name, but You guys who are more into anime, you surely know the one I'm talking about. And I do remember Mirai Nikki being mentioned at that time in my life, so I'm guessing that this is one of those crazy, weird animes. Or is it one of those, or am I wrong? Have I gone and did goof again? If not, if I am wrong, what is Mirai Nikki about? Because I have heard of it, but I know nothing about it. Sam, the best yandere, have to make your characters go there. And Terry doing well, still in the flat process. What flat process? And Nathan, I make a visual novel / point and click game right now, but it's advanced stuff in Unity. Yes, from Unity, in Unity, as far as I've seen, you don't start with any pre-made tools. You have to go and make everything yourself, pretty much. So good luck with that. But still, it's very impressive because it does seem like you're doing everything on your own. So that's awesome. And Terry, but we got application through and now we wait to pay for the flat. Well, more me waiting for your friend to be able to do it in a few minutes, hopefully. Oh, that flat situation. A new house. But good luck with it. Let us know how it goes. Ever since I started this whole streaming thing, I've got to meet so many people with so many personal agendas of their own going on that something I kind of missed having, like knowing what's up with people and caring about what goes on with their lives. It's been quite some time since I have had that in my life. Anyway, yes, Skaze and Sam, Madoka Magica. That anime is interesting. I actually really like Madoka Magica. I never seen past the 3rd episode. But anyway, Funzer, the anime could have been better, especially towards the end. Which one? And Terry, but yeah, anyway, I won't be on so much until you move in. So sorry if I don't see you a lot. But I know I have me on Telegram, so it's fine. It sure is. No worries. And Funzer Mirai Nikki. Yeah, somebody please do let me know what is Mirai Nikki about and what's the plot, what's the whole thing. What's up with it, pretty much. And Kaze, you recommend an anime called Monsters, or rather Asterisk Monsters Asterisk. It's made in 2004 and it's a mystery thriller. The story is super good. I think it suits me. Oh boy. Or me or the other boys and girls on this stream. Because I haven't watched animes in forever, so I don't know. And Samuel, watch Mekaku City actors for a good story then. I think it suits you, Kaze. What's feel about that? Nathan, I watch ReZero? Or something like this. It is about boy who can go back in time when he died. It was a good anime. Yeah, I actually think I did watch that one. I don't remember the name because the Japanese name is it's confusing. But anyway, it was something as well. It is about a boy who goes back in time to try and save a girl from his school or something. It's a pretty good anime, and I have seen that it got a live action version on Netflix. I wonder how that's turned out. But yeah, it's a good anime. And you have also seen My Hero Academia. It was really good. I have heard a lot of people talking about it, but I didn't get to see it. What is it about? What's up with that one anime? My Hero Academia. And Sam, I recommend Kakiguri for anyone that likes good plot and story. Sponsor My Hero afterwards. And Ain Soph Parasite was pretty good. I also never heard of that one. I never heard of most animes, truly. And boy, this is not right. And also, Sneeze Erase. I know it had a really long Japanese title, but it was localized as Erase. Yes, I think that's the one. The Japanese title was super long, but the English title, I think it was Erased. Because it makes sense if you have seen the anime. Anyway, what else is up? Nathan, in My Hero Academia, the first 5 or 6 episodes was boring, but after then it was a really good story. That's good to know. Because in My Hero Academia is basically Naruto had sex with One Punch Man. That's a good premise right there. And I didn't enjoy it because everything was predictable and the events were copies of other enemies. Too overrated. Kaze with the opinions. But I don't know. I guess that one thing I did come to learn is that these cliches, they exist for a reason. They exist because they work. And because they work, people keep using them in stories, so it's more of a, you have to come to terms with the fact that cliches are a thing, even if they are predictable and they lower the overall enjoyment you have with a series. They exist and they are being used up to this day because, well, they work. It is a good thing. And when things are not cliche, most people go like, "Oh boy, this is a new thing, and I don't like new things. I wanna keep seeing things that are comfortable and I'm used to." So new things can either fluke really, really hard, or they can pay off really nicely. But not everybody is really willing to bet on new things. So that's why cliches are a thing, and they are never going away. But anyway, Bowser says that Season 2 was pretty unpredictable. Sam, that's an interesting way to put it. Bowser, at least the tournament bit, as I promised you it was. And Sam, has anyone watched Cheatcraft? I have never heard of it myself. Aim, Soph. You gotta find an interesting way to disguise a classic cliché as something new or novel. There are ways, actually. There are many books and series and rather, especially comic books, that are going out of their way to do things the non-cliché way or using clichés in inventive ways, rather. However, the problem with those is that you need to be a very experienced novelist or story writer to know how to use these things properly. And we get in a cycle where good novelists they got where they are by following kind of a formula, so they don't want to discard that formula they have. to try out new things, and new artists, new writers who are trying new things, they don't get any recognition because they are new artists. They don't have a name yet, so nobody will want to bet on them. So yeah, the world of story writing, comic making, and all that. It's pretty crazy. However, a series that I really enjoy, or rather have been enjoying, is Game of Thrones. Even though it's kind of it's on one of those season breaks. It's really good and I really enjoy it. However, I didn't always enjoy it. For the longest time I was super averse to that series as a whole. Shit. I was really against it because it was super popular and I didn't want to do anything with it because of how popular it is. But I found out it's pretty good and it's not entirely cliche. In fact, it's pretty surprising most of the times. It is a very good series. Fonzer, this turned into a weeb chat. It has. But then again, that's one of the best kind of chats, when we start to talk about things we truly enjoy and like and care about, so deeply that we do have very well formed opinions on the matter. Anyway, it's too quiet because the requested songs, they ended and nobody requested any new songs. Anyway, Nathan, yeah, in My Hero Academia it is really good use of cliches, and they do not care how predictable the story is. They just tell a story and use all tiny tools in a really good way. They don't try to invent the wheel again. Yeah, a lot of stories actually are pretty much a combination of things that already existed. Nobody is 100% original. It's impossible to be 100% original when telling a story. Pretty much any kind of character you try to come up with, they have been done already in the past. So the best you can hope to do as a writer or content creator is to do the best use of a cliche or of a trope as you can. Besides, how a story is or isn't predictable also is in part how the writer or the creator wants to deliver the history. One thing that you guys may have noticed is a lot of stories, they are more chill, more slow paced, or they are kind of feel good stories. These kind of stories, they want things to be kind of predictable because they want people to have the certainty that they want to make the reader, the watcher, feel comfortable. If a story is too unpredictable, whoever's reading or watching or seeing won't feel comfortable at all. And sometimes when you don't feel comfortable seeing something, you may eventually turn away from it completely because you want something to feel good about. You don't want the truths of unpredictability. You wanna make sure that everything goes alright. You want to feel good after reading or seeing something. So the artist, so the creator, even though they know it is a cliche, they do go and use it because that's the kind of story they are trying to tell. A story where cliches are a good thing because it makes you feel comfortable. if any of you have ever read the comic book series for The Walking Dead, you guys will see that the creator doesn't give a shit about letting people feel comfortable. He goes and kills characters left and right. And it is never predictable who is gonna die and when or how. And that's not the kind of story it is as well. It's not a story where you go like to feel comfortable. It's a story where you go to feel sad, to feel desperate, to feel melancholic. So he doesn't rely on cliches because they will give you a feeling of comfort, of knowing where you are, and he doesn't want that. I don't know if I explained that well enough, but hopefully you guys understood what I meant by how you can use cliches to make your story have the feeling you want it to have. And Nathan, you do not like Game of Thrones. You find it stupid, too pathologic and boring. It is not your kind of stories and fantasy. Sam, as a writer, I have used your fair share of cliches, but you have more original ideas than you want to use, so cliches are not often used by you. Smasher Wolf, can I just say adore that waving doggo in the corner? Thank you! And also, welcome to the stream. I think you're a new face as well. I don't think I have ever seen you here before. Welcome to this stream. Double welcome to you. Sam, the second point in your main story is a combination of cliches. And Kaze, that I agree with you. Steal the tiger, sexy doggo in the corner, thanks. And still you are explaining well. And Sam, the song is special, I don't know what song this is. And you bring up good points. Thank you. Up. One reason why I like Game of Thrones, to kind of counter your argument, Nathan, is because of how cynic it is in a way. It is a cynic world vision. It is kind of a vision of nobody's trustworthy, nobody is vulnerable. You do things. Everybody's kind of out to get each other. Nobody's friendly. It's an awful world, kind of place to be in. It's super sad and it's super downer, and that's why it's exciting to see how these characters will deal with that. It's hey, nobody cares if you're a good guy. If you are a good guy, if you are honorable, if you follow the rules, you might as well be the downfall of you in that universe, that world. So it is super interesting to see for how long these characters, they'll stick to their morals and be like, okay, I know that this is wrong, so I won't do it. Even though this would solve my problem super quickly and super easily. And a lot of times you see characters, the quote-unquote evil characters or antagonists, the villains pretty much, and you start to root for them because you kind of see their point. You see where they are coming from, and you know they are the bad guys, but you do want to see them succeed, because eventually you become empathetic to what they are, who they are, and what they are trying to do. And that's what I like about Game of Thrones. It doesn't have villains pretty much. It just has a huge host of protagonists who are all one against each other. And it's a very, very brilliant kind of storytelling. Me myself, I super duper enjoy Game of Thrones. It is not for everyone, I know that. I have been trying to convince people to read it, but I know people won't. It isn't because I'm recommending it that people will start to go and read it or watch it. But I did learn a lot about storytelling from the Game of Thrones. So I do recommend it, even if just as research material. It is interesting and important. Still, I would request songs, but I don't think they will fit in. Oh, feel free to then. If they don't fit in, we can always skip them. Smasher Wolf, thank you. Been following my art for some years now. Whoa, that's quite a lot of time. A few years is more than one single year, so thank you so very much. I hope you enjoy this. Kaze, an anime that I think is the best is Akame ga Kill. Normally in a fight you ask yourself, how is he going to win? But in this anime, who will die? Which is so good because it is a war that will happen, important character or not, you might still die. Yeah, that's pretty much the same point as I have brought up with The Walking Dead. Although there is a little complaint I have to make about The Walking Dead, and I'll get into that in a while. But first, Sam, the current song name is Blindfold Code. I don't have to say anything to explain why this is special to you. Oh, I see. Also, Bella, hey Douglas, tudo bom? Tudo, e com você? Seja bem-vindo ao stream. Sam, you should watch Kakegurui. That anime fights are games, like poker or regular games that play in a different way. Also, thank you for your daily doses of kisses, Sam. Smasher, been loving my art ever since Golden Week had its first page out. You're awesome, though. Thank you so very much. And wow, you've been here ever since the beginning of the Golden Week. That's what? 6 years, I guess. That's a shitload of years. Welcome, and thank you so very much. My only complaint about the Walking Dead series is that it's kind of a zombie apocalypse. The whole idea is that nobody's safe. Anyone can die at any moment because it's a zombie apocalypse. One silly sleep and you're done, you're a gunner. However, the main protagonist of the series, the Rick Grimes, he never dies. Even though he is the one big force that is moving the entire plot and the whole everything, he never dies, and that's kind of the only rule we have in place for how the story goes, and that's a thing I think feels kind of bland in it, because you know that no matter what happens, who dies, who gets fucked up, Rick is the one who will always make it out. And that kind of gives you some reassurance as you read in the comic. You know that this is Rick's story, so the comic will probably only end when Rick dies, if that ever happens, because it's Image Comics' best-selling comic, so probably nobody wants it to end. But it is bad in a storytelling sense, because in this world where you know anybody can die at any moment, Rick is the only one who never dies. And that's the thing I don't like about the story. The only bad thing that ever happened to Rick was in the very first few volumes. He was abducted by the governor, and the governor went and cut his arm, or a part of his arm off. And that's the worst thing that has ever happened to Rick. He lost a limb, that's it. Everybody else died, they had awful things happening to them, but Rick, all he suffered was a cut limb. And that's boring. But anyway, even though that's a bad thing for me, that Rick is the one character we know will never die, The author has been making very good use of that resource. Since he knows that we know Rick is the one and only character who's truly safe, he goes and kills everybody around Rick. Make sure that they are never in a safe spot, so the whole comic is a series of unfortunate events, and nobody else is expecting for the day when Rick dies anymore. Now, what the readers expect is for the day when Rick will lose it, because he's seen so many friends, close friends dying. So it's like, hey, you've lost a shitload of very close friends, lovers, and family members and whatnot, or people you consider friends and family. So when are you gonna break? When who's gonna be it that's gonna be your tipping pot, and it's gonna be like, okay, I can't take it anymore. And the expectation to see how he will break, if he'll go insane and kill everyone, if he will become suicidal, how will Rick break when he eventually breaks? That's the kind of narrative they have going on for The Walking Dead now. And it's interesting because, like I said, it is a blend. It is a blend character arc, the one he's having of being the survivor or the one who never dies. So having that new constant there, the when will he go insane, adds a lot of character and a lot of new risks to the series. I don't know if it makes sense. That's how I feel about it. And Sam, now that I think about it, the way you match my art funny, why is that? Because it was so good. And still I'm gonna have to be idle for a bit, you BBL, whatever that means. But sure thing. Be back later, I guess. No worries. And Sam, I was going to search in for finding a story that you were reading, but you forgot to put keywords and stuff. It led you to an art with the title Sorry, so you started following me, but you only got your email later, so you didn't watch me until very later. You were at Picardo too. Oh, I see. That's actually a pretty old drawing I did. I think it's the first drawing I ever posted on FA on this new account I have going on. But anyway. But yeah, I don't have the best of opinions when it comes to books and comics and TV series and whatnot, because I don't get to experience a lot of new culture very often. So when I do, it's because it's been recommended by me, and if I've captured it, it's because I really like it. So I will become super defensive of it, because I am kind of using it as an inspiration and sort of guidelines for the rest of my work and whatnot. But let me know in case you disagree. I will do my best to try and respect your disagreement. And nonetheless, sorry if I did go a little bit far in my explanation of how I feel about things. But anyway, and so you guys have been reading, well, watching a lot of animes, but have you read a lot of mangas lately? I've been wondering about that. Because to tap in on what you were saying, Lore, you were reading or playing Persona 5, and I adore that game. I love it to pieces. And not only that, but as you guys know, Persona 5 has an amazing art style, an amazing art direction. The art in that game is super full of personality, and it's astounding. It's not like anything else in the industry nowadays. And the art style of Persona 5 itself is worth all the cookies just for that. The game gets the Game of the Year award just for its art style. But nonetheless, I have been reading and studying a little bit of composition here and there for comic purposes, and I did realize a whole lot of things about composition and visual narration and visual storytelling from seeing Persona 5 the style. One thing that I really realized and stuck to me was how the menus and everything else were organized. Because in composition we have this theme where we want to guide the reader's eyes, so we start on the top left corner and direct your eyes to the bottom right corner as we are working an art piece, or we start from the middle and we do a kind of a clockwise spiral or anti-clockwise spiral, depending on how we want you to perceive the piece. So we as illustrators and artists, we have to study these things to make the best use of all the devices we have to make the visual composition interesting. So I had this in my mind. We go from the top left to the bottom right when doing compositions, but Persona 5 did the completely opposite of that. Most of its menus and animated whatevers start on the top right and go to the bottom left. So it's the opposite, and I've been thinking, why do they do that? It looks awesome as shit, but composition wise it is weird for me. So why do they do that? That's when I realized they are doing that because Japanese they read things on the opposite order as we do. They start from the right and go to the left. So it makes a shitload of sense composition wise for them to do that, because that's how their whole reading system works. And that's something I found awesome and super amazing. So I have been trying to look into some mangas here and there to see how well the manga artists are using these composition techniques, even though they are using it in reverse order. I mean, not reverse order, but for us it looks reversed, composition wise. But anyway, Smasher Wolf, not sure if you're cool with the question, but do you have a furry crush? Like a character from a show or something? Oh boy, I don't remember. There sure are many, like a shitload of crushes I do have, but right now I can't think of a single one, really. But by default you can always go with Mac Galgamon from Digimon Savers. He's a huge crush. But that aside, I don't know, there's so many. I'd have to stop and think really deeply about characters and such. I'm super lost in my own thoughts. Anyway, Kaze, I've been reading JoJo's manga, and a normal book I read is Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I guess I have heard of that book. I have seen it around somewhere. Sam, you're currently reading the Diabolic's Love manga because that is difficult to follow, and also those vampires will always be interesting to see. Why is that? Nathan, you was find Persona 4 better writing than Persona 5. The character was better, but you enjoy a Persona 5. Really nice game. Yes, it's an awesome game. And indeed, I think the story of Persona 4 was more tightly designed and developed. Also, Persona 3 story was even more tightly developed. Everything made a shitload of sense. So, Persona 5 story isn't the best thing about the game. And Persona 4 characters, they are more interesting in a way, more diverse. And also, Doji, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? I'm working on some late comic page today. I should have done this hours ago, but actually days ago. I'm late as usual. I'm not a very responsible dog though. Also, holy shit, these sounds are really loud. For me. In any case, for any of you guys who just came into the stream, you guys can request songs by typing in !SR or song request and then the name of the song as it on Spotify, name and artist, or you can also go and throw in a YouTube link or the Spotify song link, which will work too. And by doing that, you'll be requesting songs and they'll play eventually. Eventually, as in as soon as the other songs are done playing. Because there is kind of a QE. There's a line of songs. And Sam, well, your furry crush would either be Schwartz from Lotus Forest or Torahiko Sotaru Kyoji, which you're always super mad that exactly those three never got a route. Huh. And Doji, you're doing great. That's awesome to hear. Now that I've got everybody's attention, what is your guys' boys and girls plans for the weekend? It is the first weekend of March, so that's super exciting in a way. Also, speaking of March, happy March, happy 2018's March to every single one of you. And also, speaking of new months, just the other day, yesterday, I don't know when day, but one of these days we got the news. We finally have a release date for that one David Cage game, Detroit Become Human. It's coming out in a couple of months, kind of, and that's super exciting because I have been following that game since forever and I have been expecting it, and it's almost upon us, and I'll play the shit out of that game when it comes out. Is anybody else also anxious for that game or expecting it? I don't know if you guys are, but I have played all the last 3 David Cage games. Fahrenheit, Indigo Prophecy. I played that on the PC and I found it super weird, but I had fun nonetheless. I also played Heavy Rain. That one was awesome. I loved Heavy Rain, and it's still one of the best games I have ever played. The story is kind of convoluted every now and then, but it's an amazing game. And lastly, we got what was it? Beyond Two Souls. It was not a good game, story-wise and everything-wise, but it was a new game with a story and thing, and it was fun. But it wasn't Heavy Rain, so I didn't enjoy it as much. But now we are finally getting a new game, and from what I have seen from the trailers and everything else, it looks awesome. Especially the multiple characters thing. So I'm super duper excited for it. But it'll be coming out in 2 weeks, 2 months from now. So Those are gonna be very, very long 2 months. But is anybody else anxious for it? Because I know I am. Also, what are you guys talking about? Sam, your weekend will be homework, watching anime, and planning your anniversary. Your birthday, you mean? Did you have a party already? Did you celebrate already? And Nathan, plans for the weekend, make more of your RPG turn-based battle. Oh, that sounds awesome. Nathan, have you ever seen or played a game called Shadow Hearts 3 from the New World? It isn't the best RPG out there, but I did love its combat system very much. Because it's kind of rhythm based, so that already gets points for me. And depending on what you do during the battle, your characters, they rearrange themselves on the field, and their position and their attacks change how you will attack the other things and other people. So I thought it was a very tightly and very well developed battle system for a JRPG. I really like it. And Sam, you will still follow that group you made, Nathan. And here is not much happening in your club, none posted things are asked. Yeah, I guess that it's because a lot of people are kind of intimidated when it comes to game development things. You need really focused and really dedicated people posting stuff. Shadow Hearts, yes, Shadow Hearts. There was 2 games before that. I never got to play them. I only played the third from the New World. It's on the PS2, so it's kind of old, but it's an amazing game. And Still the Tiger, you're back. Welcome back, or rather, welcome back. Oh, what a lovely strip show you're doing. Come do one of those shows for me. And Sam, well, that's true, but how can I know how much you progress on your journey? What do you mean, Sam? Young Sam, what do you mean by that? Kazi, 2 songs at once. Is it so? Is there 2 songs playing at once? I think it is, actually. Oh yeah, there were 2 songs playing at once. What the hell even? Huh. Oh. How crazy, apparently somebody requested a Spotify song and somebody else requested a YouTube song, so they played at the same time. What do you know? Well, nonetheless, I think it should be okay now. Hopefully it won't happen again. Maybe. Hopefully. Still the Tiger, welcome back. And whoa, whoa, whoa. Lots of lovelies. But thanks nonetheless. Kazi, a wizard did it. How to cover plot holes in stories. Yeah? Ah. Gotcha. Okay, so now that the coloring is done, we can get to shading. And then there will be some background left to do. So, the whole idea is that they're outdoors, but there's a lot of sun shining on them, and we need to make sunshine. So this looks like a very sunshiny day in whatever this place is. And now I can start by throwing in the actual light, as I normally do my shadings. And Nathan, Shadow Hearts looks interesting. You will check the system. Maybe I can learn something good from this. I'm not super sure it's the best battle system because the game apparently never went forward. But I enjoyed it when I played it. Maybe it didn't age very well. Who knows? And also, anyone knows good turn-based battle systems in games. There's a shitload of people saying that Final Fantasy XII has a good battle system. I don't know about that because it seems kind of a little actiony. But one battle system I really enjoy isn't so much because of the battle system itself, but because of the game mechanics, is Darkest Dungeon and XCOM 2 and the first as well. It's very tactics Z, the XCOM. You guys probably familiar with it, but what I like about it is how there is the battles itself. There aren't all the game has to offer. There's also base management things. So the whole base management is a big part of how things go. So if you do good on battles, it helps you when you get back to managing your base and whatnot. But anyway, but Darkest Dungeon, the whole thing of it is that the game system, you have HP, which is your health, but you also have the stress levels, and if and your character doesn't die when either gets to 0. Instead, you get debuffs. So if your health gets to 0, you get a death's door debuff. So every attack has a chance to insta kill you. And in Darkest Dungeon, characters have permanent death. So if you get the last hit, you die forever. Your character. So whatever good things you put into that character, whatever good loot they had, however levels they had, you lose that if the character dies. And also, so you don't need to be super concerned with their health reaching 0, but you should always try to avoid it. And also the stress level, if it reaches 0, or rather reaches 100, because it starts at 0, if it reaches 100, your character gets so stressed that they get a special buff or debuff, like they get despaired, or they get extra hopeful, because super valiant, because despite all the stress they were stubborn, they didn't bend into it and they decided, okay, I'm gonna find extra harder now. Or they get despaired and they get a super bizarre debuff that normally makes you lose control of your character. They get a lot of quirks. Things like they stop obeying orders, they get abusive and lash out on your other characters, and they get stressed. A lot of things. So it isn't a super complex battle system. Everybody gets a turn, and on your turn you do one action. But there is a lot of systems in place, mechanics, and mechanically wise, it's a very interesting game, and I like it. Because you love the shading, live for the shading. Hooray. Sam, well, since we are talking about games, can anybody help you make a name for one power in your series? It's an ability. The name should have eyes in the name, like concealing eyes or clear eyes. What the ability does, Sam? What does the ability do? Well, Nathan, you play a lot of Darkest Dungeon. Really nice system. Yes, it is. Other than that, I have seen another game came out a while ago. Don't remember the name. I think it's Battle Right or Shadow Battle or something, or Battle War. I don't know. It's a game based on a comic book series, you would see. And it's tactical battles. I'll look it up and I'll let you know later. I didn't get to play a lot of it, so I don't know if the systems are good or not, but I have seen a lot of people praising it. And also it has intro characters every now and then, so that's always a boom for any game, really. Samuel was asking like if anyone has a name and power suggestion. So you want an eye, power, and a name for it. They want us to go and write the story for you as well. But one thing you can always do is have something. Like I said, it depends on the kind of story you want to tell. If it is a story that If it is a light-hearted story where things eventually will get along and it's supposed to be good, I mean, have everybody have good feelings, and if you are intending for it to have a happy ending, then maybe you can go with some cliche idea. It isn't a bad thing. But if you want your story to be something that leaves people unnerved, kind of anxious, and isn't supposed to be predictable, then yeah, avoid the cliches and have something really weird and really unconventional. Also, when it comes to powers, I'm not a huge fan of stories that have these kind of things, like extraordinary things. I like ordinary characters and stories. So I'm not one for stories where the characters have powers or whatever. Like innate powers and abilities. But if I were to write power for a character in a story, I'd make it that so it isn't 100% good. It is good, but it can also be just as bad as it is good. In other words, it has a downside to it. So say he can for example, if it can be like a stealth ability of some sort, like he can see through things, through walls or whatever. But to do so, his eyes shine super brightly, so everybody would know he's doing the thing. not like Superman who can look through things and nobody knows he's doing it. It's like, okay, I'm gonna use my eye powers, and it shines so brightly that there's no question that he's doing something with his eyes. And it allows him to see through walls, so it is a stealthy thing, but it isn't stealthy in the way he does it. Or something like, he has laser eyes and he can shoot lasers out of his eyes and melt doors. Like, he can actually melt metal with his eye lasers, but it tires him out like crazy, and he completely faints afterward. There's no way he doesn't faint after using his eye laser, so it's more of a last resort sort of thing. Or even some sort of, he can see things nobody else can see. Like, he can see the spirits of the dead, or he can see into another dimension, another world. He can see something that nobody else can, but that's all about it. He can only see those things, and when he activates his eye powers and he can see things that nobody else can see, the things that he's seeing, like, I don't know, if it's the dead, now the dead can see him as well. And not all the dead like being spied on, so some of them might become aggressive if they realize that he is looking at them, or if he's looking into other dimension, the things from the other dimension suddenly begin to see him looking back at them, and that might have some bad consequences. If I were to write a story with powers, I'd do something like that. It is a powerful thing, a powerful, unique thing, but it has a huge downside, that so people don't go using it just because they would only use it as a last resource kind of thing, or they would be super afraid to use it, that they would probably never use it. It's like, I have an eye power, but I never use it because the consequences are too great. So using it is more dangerous than the thing I would be using it for. If I were doing a story, but then again, it's your story, I'm just spitballing ideas. And Sam, well, how about this? An ability that can project your thoughts or emotions to other, but the bad thing is that sometimes it activates on itself and projects bad thoughts into people. Well, let's go into that a little bit further, but also the requested songs are over. There's nothing else playing. Sad. That's super sad. And let me see if I can request a song. Okay, there we go. And Nathan, good design of superpower is in Marvel X-Men. Cyclops' power is his great strength and the biggest weakness. He is crippled by his power, or Beast, who pays for his power by his appearance. Sam, the user's eyes become blue and similar to that of a cat. Nathan, good power is when you see this as something awesome, but if you ask yourself, do I want this thing for myself? There is not sure answer. And Sam, well, let me get some Roberta Campbell for Chumu. Sure thing. But yeah, that's an interesting ability. He can project his feelings and thoughts and whatever's into other people. But I don't think that backfiring is a good enough solution, because it's like, it happens sometimes. It isn't a sure thing. It can always happen. I feel like that's kind of cheating in a way. It should be something more like it always happens, so he can project thoughts and feelings into other people. But say to do that, he has to say those things out loud. So it would be like he looks at someone intensively and speaks out loud. Oh, you're gonna feel dizzy, and they start to feel dizzy. Oh, you're gonna think that you're a spider, and there they go. And I don't know, something bad else, like I don't know, whenever he tries to imprint his thoughts on other people, the other people also imprints their thoughts on his head unknowingly and unwillingly, so he eventually the character absorbs thoughts and ideas from the other person, and eventually he starts to have a thing of, hey, now I'm not super sure on what's real and what's not real because I've been imprinting thoughts on other people, and I'm not super sure that I'm in the real world anymore because I also have had thoughts imprinted on my mind. So am I really here? Is this really me? Am I not dreaming all of this? And I don't know, some sort of self-existential something to kind of counter how he can do that. Otherwise, you're pretty much writing a Gary Stu kind of character who just has a super incredible power, and hooray, that's it, life's good. Nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't make for a very interesting storytelling if they are the protagonist. Sam. Well, let me take this an example. An ability can divert perception away from objects and even people within 2 meters of herself and her surroundings, rendering them invisible. Conversation while being hidden also won't be heard by outsiders. Physical contact, however, breaks the effect, so it's not useful in very crowded places. Along with this vulnerability, if a person outside the 2-meter bubble is familiar with someone being concealed. What? The power will not be as strong. The ability works more when preventing people from recognizing those being hidden rather than make them unable to be seen. And Leo, while you're headed out, be well on. Sure thing, Leo. Thank you so very much for stopping by. Have an amazing day. Take care of yourself and stay awesome. And Caspan, looking good, bud. Yeah, Sam, that works. But yeah, then again, I don't know what kind of story you are writing. Like I said, if it is a story that's supposed to be a story with a good ending or something else, or whatever. Well then. There's some song playing that I didn't request and apparently nobody else did request, so I guess we're into this, right? But yeah, Sam, I don't know what kind of story it is that you're writing. If it's a story that's supposed to be good and have a good ending, or if it's a story that's supposed to be kind of harsh and more on the cynical side of things and be bittersweet or have a bad ending or whatever. Depending on what kind of story you want to write, then it's the thing I said with the cliches. Maybe you want to avoid them, or maybe you want to use it on purpose. And there you go. It depends on the kind of story you want to write. But altogether, it is looking good. So as you guys can see, this is a panel with Nathan blocking the sun with his hand. Also, it sometimes makes the person be less noticed or even ignored by others. Well, someday we will see, but for now I have plenty to work with, says Sam. Sure thing, Sam, and also good luck with your story thing. But that aside, how are you guys doing? Everybody's been super quiet all of a sudden. Yes, I kind of asked how everybody's weekend was gonna be, and I guess I didn't pay too much mind to that. Sorry about it. Well, nonetheless, this stream thing has been going on for 2 hours almost. How are you guys holding up? I think I'm gonna go for a couple more hours until I finish this comic page thing. Sam, well, someday we will see. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Still the tiger, my head's starting to hurt, to be honest. Oh no, what is that? Are we being too loud, or are we talking too much theoretical stuff? Or it isn't even us, it's something else that's causing your headache. But nonetheless, you should try to rest and drink a lot of water. A lot of times headaches are your body being dehydrated for whatever reason. So yeah, do go get some water. Get yourself hydrated. Sam, well, it is 6 in the evening, so you are a little bit tired. Still nah, I usually suffer migraines, just feels like one's starting. Oh, sorry to hear that. But if there's anything we can do to help you, do let us know. But other than that, take it easy. Try not to force yourself too much. And other than that, I was talking about the story shenanigans or whatevers. I was talking about my visual novel, the one I do intend on doing. I don't know if there's much else I can talk about it because it's super theoretical so far. I mean, it's not theoretical, it's just thoughts and ideas, not a whole concrete anything else so far. Sam, there's some Roberta Campos chill songs. Thanks for the chill songs. Those are always appreciated. Also, Still the Tiger, you'll be okay, thanks. Or just sit in a wolf's lap and get comfy. Sure thing, who's the lucky wolf? Hopefully some UK wolf from UK rather. I don't know, what do you call people that are from the UK? Depends on where in the UK they are, so a British or an Irish or Scottish or Wales-ish, Gaelish. What do you call someone from the Wales? I don't know a lot of things.
Ando tão só, é bom porque sinto falta de você. Concordo com a solidão, ela
Sam, I still like Overtime. I think if you do another visual novel, you will do great. Thanks, Sam. I do want to give some deep thoughts about the story, though. Speaking of which, I also thought about my other comic idea project thing, Shenanigans, a little bit further. I'd like to talk about that with you guys as well. Still possibly the one drying. I'm not lucky to have any near you that you know. Oh. Everybody needs a dog of their own in their lives. Go get yourself a dog. You need a loyal wolf by your side. An English for you. Okay then. Get yourself an English dog. I'm sure there are many. Many to be had. Many. But with the other story thing, I have kind of teased and talked a lot about this other comic project I have called the Interdictor, which was gonna be gonna be a science fiction story I'm thinking about. I did think about it after reading actually watching a TV series called Battlestar Galactica, the new version, the 2000s whatevers. It is awesome, and I really loved it. But afterwards, I was thinking, hey, I wanna do a sci-fi something. I watched the series way back in 2014, 2015. So ever since then I've been thinking about the story to do. But only recently, late 2015, early 2016, well, 2015 rather, I got into reading Saga, a very awesome comic book series. And it gave me even more ideas for sci-fi shenanigans I could do. And I ended up thinking of this whole sci-fi story I have in my mind. The whole idea is, like I have said, I may have changed it a little bit, but the idea is to be more of a political intrigue of sorts, but also some adventuring sort of story. So it's basically the humans, they have become a spacefaring species, they are awesome, they are evolved, they are the bomb, pretty much. So what the humans go and do is they start expanding and conquering space wherever they can. They also encounter other alien species, so they are like, okay, we are friends, you come in peace. And everybody's like, oh, okay then. They start this whole space federation shenanigan, just like Star Trek. But eventually some humans, they start up a new colonization effort very far, and they come across this species of canine people. So pretty much space dogs. But the space dogs, they are still not in space, they are not a spacefaring species yet, they are kind of in an industrial revolution of their own. So what the humans do, instead of avoiding contact and letting these species evolve on their own, the humans go there and make contact. They make first contact, and they are like, hey, would you agree to become our vassals in the huge space empire if we evolve you guys into spacefaring species? So pretty much, if we give you guys the spaceships, will you become our quote-unquote slaves? And the canines are all the Kanais are like, no, fuck you, no. But the leaders, one of the leaders is like, okay, yes, that's what's gonna be best for our people to evolve faster, reach the future, oh, take less time to reach the future. Also, what the hell? Well then, I guess it's Spotify. He likes playing at the same time as the Nightbot song request thing. Who knows what's that? Anyway. The leader, one of the canine civilization's leader, he's gonna like, okay then, we accept. And oh shit. And the humans kind of start to kind of colonize this new planet. They start to introduce their own culture, their technologies, and pretty much evolve the canines into a spacefaring species. But almost all of them dislike this idea of the humans coming from space and whatnot. So they are very rebellious against this idea. So they start to plot in secret to overthrow the government and pretty much kick the humans from their planet and be back to their ways. And be like, away with you, humans, pretty much. But the story would begin as a series of coincidences. These regulators, kind of another species, they are going across space, seeing if everybody is up to good things, if nobody is up to no good. And they are closing in on the human space station that's colonizing the canine planet. So the humans in the space station, they're like, okay, the regulators are gonna come and we need to hide, rather erase all evidences of we tampering with that canine civilization. So let's pull our humans from that planet, pretend that like we're never there to begin with. And that's what they do. They start to pull out all of the humans from the planet. But because they are super in a hurry, they don't pull all humans, they pull out just the military personnel and the spaceships, and they leave behind a shitload of humans in the planet. And the canine resistance sees that as the perfect opportunity to start their uprising against the empire, the government. And that's when our story begins, with a bunch of canines trying to regain control of the country by quenching the revolution, the rebellion. As some of them try to protect the humans, some of them also don't like the humans, so it's like, okay, we need to take our planet, our city back, but there's these meddling humans, what do we do with them? So not everybody's super into helping the humans. And then we have one other character that's she abandons all her life to go into the canine planet all by herself to try and rescue her sister. But she begins to be pursued and chased because she is the missing link. If she escapes, there is a possibility that the regulators will find out about the whole colonization effort. So they start to chase her. And then that's her dilemma. She has to escape the pursuers and get to the canine planet to rescue her sister. the people, the humans in the planet are trying to survive, the dogs uprising, some of the dogs are trying to end the rebellion and recover control of the government, and everybody has their own plans and agendas and chaos is breaking loose. That's the kind of story I have in mind. And also, there's the regulators. They're coming. And when they arrive at their place, they're gonna find things about what's happening, and eventually somebody will have to deal with that. Also, be right back, everybody. Hey everyone, I'm back with more drawings to be had. No songs should be played. Let me request a song real quick here.
Sure.
No, thank you. So what do I request? I guess I'm gonna request a very chill song. Something very happy and very mellow. This one is a good one. Love me some of that. Except that it requested from I don't know where. It's playing a mute version of it. Well then, let me try and get the right one this time. Yep. There we go. And it should be playing. Play it. Play song. Play for me. It is not playing? What's up, Nightbot? Okay, now it's played. And thank you, everyone. welcoming me back. Kaze, that's interesting. My story. Sam, yes, it has a lot of potential. Yeah, that's pretty much the story I had in mind for this comic. Problem with it is, it's gigantic. It's not something I can do on my own, especially when not planning a lot of it firsthand before starting to illustrate and do it. It's a story I want to illustrate, but it's not something I think I can do on my own. Especially not on a weekly release like I do with these comics I'm doing. Because of how gigantic it is, it would take me decades to finish it if I did it on a weekly schedule. Also, hey! MacBryle TV is hosting me. Who was it again? MacBryle, he was... Does Bingo. He's hosting me. Well, Does Bingo's other account, I guess. Thank you for the host, nonetheless. Also... Sam, well, Douglas, pretty random question, but what is Contagious or Sexy? Is it a band? Yes, it is a Brazilian band from the 2004-2005 era. They made a lot of kind of electronic songs. They're pretty good. But their older songs, I don't think you can find them on Spotify for some reason. But I like those. They're pretty weirdly interesting. They, despite everything, they do play some songs in English and some songs in Portuguese, and some are kind of a mix of both. It's weird, but it's interesting and it's super enjoyable. Also, Nathan, this is not a story for comics, Doug, but this is something that what can be a book. Because I have thought about writing the story, and that's why I took upon myself to start writing a little bit more. But I decided to start with shorter stories instead of starting with a gigantic story. Also, 2 songs playing at once. This is not gonna work, Nightbot. This is not gonna work at all. I don't know what this is happening. Sorry, everybody. Also, MacBryle TV, welcome. Leave the streaming because everyone went to bed. Hi and thanks for the buddies. You're welcome. And thank you so very much for the subscribe. And also, thank you for the other subscription. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for the subwoofing. I really appreciate it. In case you guys are wondering, MacBryle TV is a German awesome duderino who has been playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm, and what other game were you playing as well? I think we were playing Cuphead to begin with. I don't know if we're playing that anymore. But anyway, he's an awesome German dude, and if you guys understand German, you guys should go watch him. Go give him some love as well, because he certainly deserves a shitload of love from everyone. And also, welcome to the stream. Nathan, but it's something that can be a book or a visual novel. About a visual novel, that's something I'm more interested in, because I think that this kind of story would have a shitload more impact if it was illustrated somehow. The problem with doing it as a book is that it's a shitload of text to write, and I'm not an experienced writer. Even though I have done stories, I didn't get to write them. I just kind of go illustrating things willy-nilly without a lot of prior planning. I had to get into more formal writing before getting into the whole writing a book thing. Especially the length of this story is kind of kind of very lengthy story. I don't think I can tackle that as my first book ever. But who knows? As for a visual story, as a rather a visual novel, same thing. It super works as visual novels, especially works better, I think. Problem is, again, I don't think I can do all of that on my own. Not in something like a year or two. I had to dedicate a shitload of time to make something of that scope. Like these 20 pages long comics I've been doing, that will require a shitload more time. But I do think it can work as a comic. The problem is I can't do that by myself. Or I can't give as much love as I'm giving this one. I should. If I did it as a comic, it would probably be black and white, more sketchy, and I'd spend less time in general with each page before finishing them. Anyway, MacBraille TV. Every hard game that is possible to play on controller, Cuphead on every difficulty, now Undertale. We're playing Undertale as well. Never got to play that one. How are you finding it? How are you enjoying it, rather? And Sam, alright, you shall see McBride. Please do, he's awesome. And McBride, pacifist way and genocide afterwards. And Sam, you like pacifists for reasons. Guess what reasons? And Nathan, just take a Terrano builder and try to make something short. Look if it's worth to make this bigger. If you need help with this as a visual novel project, you can help me. Well, thank you! I've been super thinking about doing a visual novel. Like I said before, I have that one idea for a visual novel. Let me talk a little bit about it, in fact. Problem is, I'm not super sure if I want to make it just a visual novel where you where you go reading, and when you get to a certain point, there is a choice you can make, and depending on the choice you make, the story pushes forward. Like every other Telltale game, I've been thinking if I could or if I should try and add some system to it, like, oh, now you have, I don't know, love points, and if you have enough love points, this person now loves you, or what? I've been thinking about that. Also, MacBraille TV, thank you so very much for the bits. I think I enabled the bits to say a little message, a text-to-speech messages, but I don't think you send any message with them. But thank you so very much for the bits. So very much, I really appreciate it. You love Undertale. Was playing it on neutral. Now 1 hour or through the pacifist way. And stay awesome too, #1 here. Hey, congratulations on becoming #1 sure for this stream. Also, what music is this, Sam? What did you request? Julie and the Ghosts. Okay then. I've been wanting to play Undertale, truly. I've super enjoyed Undertale. I mean, I didn't truly get to play a lot of it. When it was released, when it was first released, I was like, oh look, this game looks very chiptunesy old, like trying to cash in on the nostalgia of older players. But it had so many dog references, even on the screenshots, that I was like, okay, I need this game in my life right now because of so many dogs. So I got the game, but I didn't get to play it. And then afterwards I saw friends of mine. They came, I said, hey, I bought this game Undertale, I still didn't get to play it yet, and they were like, holy shit, that game is awesome, get to play it. Then I was like, okay, I guess I will then. That seems like an awesome game, I think I'll go and play it. But then the bad thing happened. I took quite a while before getting into the game, in fact. But when I did, I played it for like 1 hour. I had a lot of fun with the game, a lot of puns and whatnot. It was pretty good. But then I was like, okay, let's make a little break. I'll resume this tomorrow. Then I told a few friends, hey, I'm playing Undertale, and that's when shit hit the fan, because everybody was like, oh my god, how far into it? Did you do these or these or these already? And they started spoiling the whole game for me. And then they're like, oh, what are you playing, the genocide route or the pacifist route? Do play the pacifist route first, because then you get to experience things this and that way. Then play the genocide route afterwards, because you get to experience this and that thing. And don't kill this character, because this character is awesome at this and that. And they started to tell me how to play the game, also spoiling pretty much everything. And I was like, okay, I guess I don't want to play this game anymore, now that there's nothing else for me in it. Oops. And that's what ruined Undertale for me, was the fans being super fancy about it and ruining the experience. So I've been waiting until my mind completely forgets about it, to a point of, holy shit, I don't remember a single thing about this game. And whenever that happens, that's when I can go back to it, because I won't remember the spoilers, I won't remember what was what, and I'll be able to experience the game for the first time. Truly for the first time this time. And no music is playing. Let me get some music playing. Chandler, lurking as I do things, currently doing gestures because you hate yourself. The new page is hot as fuck, dog. You're a master in making subtle changes in the face. Thank you so very much. I'm not super sure I'm that good, but thank you. I'm glad you think so. Also, good luck on those gesture poses. These are the best things to do as any kind of artist. And Steal the Tiger, God, when the hell did you cut your paw? Be careful with whatever it is that you're doing. Be careful, try not to cut yourself too much. It can get very dangerous, those cuts. Also, just let me find the music. Because I closed the Spotify, I don't think Spotify's music will be playing. So let me find a good song on YouTube. Maybe this one will do, and this one as well. Copies video URL. There we go. And then there's this one that I really enjoy. Let's play these two songs. I have to request songs in my own channel because that's how things work nowadays. Oh no, invalid ID. Why would you do that to me? YouTube thing. Why? You think that I'm a very hacker boy, so I know how to clean the URL of the unwanted shenanigans. You know it, Chandler. G major. And also Fonzer feels bad, man, for spoilers. Indeed it does. It really does. Chandler, I don't understand how people want to spoil things for others. It makes zero sense. I'm still glad for stupid spoiler people. But it does kind of works with the spoilers as well. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I get to see it. Chandler, if memory serves, G major has the most sharps out of all the majors. Maybe, I don't know. But I can understand the will to go and spoil things for other people. You do want people to experience the game or the whatever the experience is. You, as a person who just experienced the thing, you want people to experience the thing the same way as you did. It's like, hey, I was in a roller coaster. I was being bled and I raised up my arms. And I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna fly away. So whenever a friend of yours is going into the roller coaster as well, you go like, hey, when you're in there, raise your arms. So because you want the person to experience the thing the same way you did, and so you have even more so in common. But for a lot of things, especially games, the biggest point of it is the person experiencing things in their own pace, on their own way, and not having the experience in any way having been foretold or spoiled. That's what makes games super interesting, because everybody plays their own way, and they, well, pretty much that. Everyone plays on their own way, and a game is something that normally you can play a shitload of different ways. So the spoiler hype is real. It is a thing. I have done that in the past, and a lot of people have done that to me as well, and that'll keep happening. It is a thing. You can't avoid it, truly. All you can do is whenever somebody does that to you, you go and say, hey, don't spoil things for me, fuckface. And hopefully the next time the person will be more sensitive to your willingness to explore things on your own. And Chandler, but what blows your mind is that by telling people how to play, they are completely obliterating any chance of that person experiencing something even remotely close to what you experience. Yes, indeed. But then again, if you are left to your own devices, you will probably do something. You will play the thing your own way, and your own way by default is very different already from the way the other person experienced it. Because if I am given given an example, whenever I was playing those Tomb Raider games the other day, whenever I got to play the Tomb Raider games, I was always looking for safe spots, places where I could be and where I know nothing bad would truly happen to me. Like, hey, I can be here now, I can be in this corner, there's nothing bad going on, I can rest. I try to look for open areas and whatnot. Other players though, they might disagree with that approach. They might be like, hey, the good stuff is in the corners, in the dark places, in the places off the beaten path where the players are not willing to go. That's where the secrets are. That's why I didn't find most secrets when playing the Tomb Raider games, because it's not on the normal path, the path you would take. It's not the path the game is signaling you, hey, come here. So depending on how I felt, I was like, okay, I'm feeling good about myself, I'm feeling good about my chances, let's explore a little bit. But when I was like, okay, I'm not in a good spot, I'm not feeling well, I want this whole thing to be done, I will try to rush my way into the ending. That's how I experienced those games. So if I was in a bad spot and I said, okay, I want to go to the finish, I want to finish this whole thing, and somebody came up to me and said, hey, no, don't finish the whole thing yet, go there and do that thing, I would not be so willing to do it. I probably would, because I'd be like, okay, this person already did this, so they know what they're doing. But I wouldn't be super happy about it. Also, I should have sketched or at least prepared a background for this page. I didn't though, which makes me a very bad unprepared boy. This is gonna be not super fun. Also, Chandler, I forgot to ask, but how are you doing today? Not only you, but McBride TV or Tas Bingo, whichever name you go by. How are you guys doing? Also, some awesome music for you, boys and girls. So Chandler, you had terrible sleep, but today has been fine. Yes, I did see you talking that on Spiker's stream. What happened? Why wasn't today a good night of sleep? I mean, you did say that you did kind of explain it there, but yeah. I don't know, lately I've been having weird nights of sleep myself. I'm not super qualified to be talking about sleep or anything. I wonder. And Chandler, if my state of mind was a song. Also, Crash ST_Panda, welcome to the stream, and thank you so very much for the follow. I'm a very grateful boy, and I really appreciate it. Still, I no longer feel your song choices are bad. Well, truth to be told, this song is kind of a meme. And it is a meme. Not sure if a good or a bad meme, but for some random reason I enjoy this song. And I've been listening to it willingly. So that says a little bit about me. I'm a kind of a disturbed dog, goes about willingly listening to weird things. Which is this song, so hooray. I don't have good brushes for textures I used to have. Because I wanted to do a grainy texture on this wall here. Chandler, just restless. My anxiety was just causing you to actually freak out. And it's hilarious, the song. It is. It's hilarious, and it still has a lot of rhythm to it. It's not the best thing to be listening to on a chill stream, but I don't know, enjoy it. I'm a weird dog, and you guys all know that already. I guess that this is not the best way to go about it, because using these fancy brushes are kind of resource intensive on the computer, but you know what? Fuck it. Just throwing some grainy textures on this background, just because. And back to my default brushes, hooray. MacBrow TV, thank you so very much for the donation. You need to beat your old account. Is that a thing? You're fighting against yourself. But thank you so very much, dude. I really appreciate it. And also, if you're going, bye and take care and stay awesome. Try and check out your stuff later if I get the chance. But what was I talking about before this whole music chat began? Was my visual novel, quote unquote, that I've been thinking about doing. The whole idea is that as of late, oh no, mosquitoes. Shoo. As of late, I've been, well, not as of late, truly, but quite some time now, I've been thinking, hey, I want to do a visual novel story. Those are fun, and I feel like I would enjoy making one. However, they are pretty hard to do, as it would have it. And more brush. Oh shit. Very light brush. Even lighter brush. Smaller, lighter brush. So the whole idea I had was a dating simulator with the characters from these other comics of mine. The same spots, the same places, the same everything. It was to be a new character, an altogether new character. I have some sketches around, I have to look out for them. But pretty much a doggo, a random doggo character comes to the city and he ends up in a bar. The Night Owl bar from these comics you guys have gotten so used to already, hopefully. And in the Night Owl bar, he finds out that the bar is kind of starting to go bankrupt. And he kind of gets recruited into being an influencer and bringing people to the bar. And he's also on his own personal mission to find the love of his life. So it's supposed to be a normal dating simulator, kind of. But I've been planning on making a little more melancholic than the other visual novels. Instead of being super happy, it would be more reflexive and thoughtful, like, hey, maybe life isn't super good, and that kind of depressive thoughts. And still the tiger, now it keeps buffering. What does the stream? Because if it does, try refreshing the page. Let me tell you that. Still underline the underline tiger. Try refreshing the page. And Chandler, Arf, 15 smackaroos, holy frick. All the fricks, the freaks and the freakettes, all of them. So yeah, that's my plan for a visual novel thingy. And unlike the science fiction story I have in mind, which is a little bit more thought out, this one isn't at all. It's like, hey, I want to have characters and I want to have player agency, and you guys can go choose whoever you want to be with and date the shit out of that dude. That's my idea for a visual novel. And I've been thinking maybe you need some sort of background story, because I can't simply be like, okay, you're free in the world to do whatever, but your whatever is pursuing dudes and doing things. So I've been trying to think of background stories and things that could have caused you to be in this situation you are in right now, going after dudes. My main idea was this: you are a frequenter of this bar, you just lost your job, and this bar it's the only place in the world where you feel okay being, so you want to do your best to try and save it. So you go out and try to bring more people into this place, as also on dates and things. That's the kind of your story. Maybe I will have to think on something a little bit more elaborate for the whole background, but as far as it goes, it's a better starting point than what I had before, which was nothing. Also, if there is some base story going on, I don't need to focus so much on making free form systems like, okay, now you're free to do whatever, what do you want to do? And give the player choices like, okay, now I want to go to this shopping mall or whatever. I can have more broad choices, just like, hey, because of the story that's going on, you find yourself into this bar again. What do you want to do in here, now that you're already here? It's a better way of having the story than simply... it's easier to program and write and everything else. Anyway, Chandler, that's a neat idea, thank you. And Studio Tiger will do. Chandler's story, I'm #forever alone and decided not to be boom. Drops microphone. That's a very good story idea there. But yeah, that's why I need some ulterior motive. I need a background story that pushes your plot forward. It's because of this story that you're doing the things you're doing already. So the idea is, hey, you like this bar, right? If you don't want to see this bar go bankrupt and close, then bring people to the bar, so you go out of your way to try and find new customers, and in doing so you find people to date. And Stu the Tiger tries fixing things but breaks everything instead. And Stu _D_ Tiger try Control F5 the page. Control. Macro TV, yeah, by the way, Douglas, hope you didn't mind we screamed on your stream at each other in a funny way. Can be very confused when German isn't your native language. Yes, indeed. It can be. As I was there for a while, I heard you guys talking in German. I saw the whole screen was in German, and I was like, okay, I don't know anything what's happening here. But it was funny and it was interesting, and it made me want to go back and try to learn German again. It's a thing I began doing but I stopped doing quite a while ago. I need to get back to it eventually. But yeah, seeing your stream made me go like, okay, so there are more languages out there, I need to learn them. Or throw in some extra effort into those. Christmas! All I want for Christmas, guess what it is, Chandler? It is you! Sung by... who is this? Sang by Mariah Carey. Or as we used to say in Portuguese, Maria Carey. In a very broken Portuguese, that is. Speaking of broken Portuguese, did you guys see the thing I posted on Twitter the other day? It was the computer's default voice for text-to-speech shenanigans. It was in Portuguese, but I told it to go and read English text nonetheless, and it was really confused with words and things. It was really funny. It's always fun to hear broken accents and broken English, whatever and anywhere. Mac Brio, you want to learn German after three guys screaming highly at each other? Weirdo. Actually, I already wanted to learn German before, but I find myself so busy every single day that I don't have time for it. But seeing you guys talking in English made me want to understand what you guys were talking to each other. And that's why I want to learn German. To be able to talk to even more people. Actually, if I could, I'd try to learn every single language there is. Or at least a couple languages from each continent. And be super diverse in my language learning hypothetical life. But the world doesn't work like that, unfortunately. So I have to prioritize my time into what I need to do and what I can do and what I want to do. So learning languages isn't gonna be a priority, unfortunately. But this is a nice thing to think about nonetheless. And might work now, Stu the Tiger says Christmas. Chandler, German is spoopy because people sound angry at you. Still, nope, still fucked. You broke all the things. Oh no, what did you do? What did you do if your whatever is still? Why is everything broken? Also, Mac Bro, another tale, try to speak German and English with the viewers. That's awesome. I should be trying to speak more Portuguese with the Portuguese viewers, but it's super confusing for everyone, so I keep my stream through English all the time. It's one of those things, you know, the things. It's one of those things. So, because I'm a lazy fuck, I'm not gonna even try to do a background. I'm gonna fake it with some markers and shapes here and there. And I'm gonna go and call it a background. Don't do this, kids. It's a bad thing if you're an illustrator or whatever. Don't do this. It's bad for your career and your learning process altogether. And also, Mac Brio, I forgot what was your name. I did know your name before, but I forgot it. What is your name again? Or would you rather me calling you Tuz Bingo or something else? Let me know, and I'll get to it. Also, Chandler, I'm sure some people were shook, very shook. The still you tried fixing, it didn't work. What were you trying to fix? The string, is it not working? And McBrow, yeah, weirdo German accent. And Chandler, to many native English speakers, German and Russian sounds red. tough and masculine. Yeah. How does it? To me, everything sounds simply foreign. I'm like, Brio, your real name? Yes. Brio or real name Marcus? Okay, I'll try to remember Brio or Marcus. I don't know. Whichever comes to mind first. And Sam, you're back. What did you miss? We were talking about I don't even know. Talking about how I'm a weirdo because I see people yelling at each other and it makes me want to learn German. I'm a weird dog. But then again, you guys already knew that, so nothing new there. Okay, is it just me or there are two songs playing again? Or is this a song, one of those songs that is a remix full of mixes and class? But Sam, that's what you miss so far, I'm afraid. But Ryan, also Spike works. Spike. Okay, I'll try to remember Spike as well. And Chandler, dank memes. And Sam, 7 da noite, você está cansado? Not really, no, I don't think so. I'm okay. I'm just a little bit worried that I'm still not super close to being done with this page. I need to do these backgrounds. Full of piperinos and piperettes. Piperinos and pipettes. Although pipette is a scientific instrument in laboratories, so I can't be calling people pipettes. Women, I can't call women pipettes. But in any case, I need to draw these peeps in the background. Make it this scene feel like there's a bigger crowd going on. Just because it's nice when you have creepy, shadowy, whitey people around you for no reason. Like, people, quote unquote. Oh, awesome, how delicious. Also, Rainbow the Furry is now following me. Thank you so much for the follow, and welcome to the stream, and welcome to the good boys and girls family community thing we have going on. It makes me a very grateful boy. So, this is a people, a person. It's a little circle that is kind of a head and legs spread apart to give the impression that it's whatever shenanigans found interesting stories in Safe Works comic, but my art is pretty good, so you think the story is? Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. Sam to make is also para fazer. It's crazy, super crazy. Chandler, I'm exposed to other Portuguese words through your own research and other streams. Other Portuguese streams, oh no. And okay, great, those two verbs usually share the same form. And Chandler, ser and estar, to be, that should be the same in Portuguese too, you believe? Yes. Weirdly, it is. And even though I skipped a lot on all the things, all the things, I think that today's page is over. I'm fully done with it. But I lie, I straight up lied to you guys. It is not done. I still have to do the drawing the lettering. The lettering is a fancy term for the speech bubbles and the words. That's what shows what the characters are saying or thinking or expressing through means that is not their own body language. Which is an amazing thing about comics, is that when I began doing comics I was like, okay, I really need to be clear on what message I'm going to give my readers. So I always thought, hey, my readers are not gonna figure out my character is angry if I just go in and throw this expression. I need to go in and say, hey, I am very angry. Eventually though, I did realize that that's not a good thing. You shouldn't ever do that in comics, because people don't do that in real life. They don't articulate their arms around angrily and then say, I am really angry. People don't do that in real life. What people do when they are angry, they just change the way they speak, the way they act, they change the way they behave. That's what we should do in comics and storytelling. We should change the character without saying, I am angry. So normally I would resource to the lettering to go and explain the things I couldn't explain through images alone, but now I changed my ways. Now I can. So these characters are expressing a lot of things. This character here is going away from the crowd into the nothingness of the corner. He looks sad. This character looks kind of mad-ish. And he stands up and starts doing this, whatever this is. You guys can decide whatever this is he's doing here. And then in here he looks back to the other character with a frown on his eyebrows and like, meh. I'm talking with my mouth just slightly open. And without the lettering, you guys can already, I hope you guys can already tell a lot about what's going on. Hopefully. If not, the lettering will resolve that, but to consider yourself a good storyteller, you should not have to rely on lettering to convey what's going on. You should be able to do that only through image alone. And Sam, well, since it's night to become blindfolded, it's time to become blindfolded. And Chandler, I don't know any other Portuguese streams, you just come across people who speak it quite often. That's good, that means we are kind of dominating the world. We are becoming big, we Portuguese speakers. Also Sam, may I recommend something? Sure, if it's not something too bothersome, yes, go ahead, recommend away, recommend whatever. And Stu, I would say you pull off emotions well. Thank you. Sam, yes, but I have to think about it. Sure thing. Still, you are becoming sentient. Hooray then, I guess. So this is it for today-ish. The rest of this comic, that is the lettering, is gonna be done in the other program we call... what do we call that? Photoshop. A program we call Photoshop. I'm gonna be doing the rest of the whatever in Photoshop. And because Photoshop is super laggy and I hate it, I'm not gonna be streaming that. Besides, it would be too spoilery, even more so. So what I'm gonna do instead is to go and first of all save this page again. Can't save enough. Sure, whatever. Oh boy, I did it wrong in saving it. Yes. Yes, computer, yes. Where do you want freeze program, please? Program freeze. Cook Studio Painting is not responding. Now it is responding again, thank you. So what I'm gonna do is open up a new canvas. Although when I say open, but I already have a new canvas open because I always do. And what I'm gonna do is drawing some suggestions. You guys suggest whatever. And I'm gonna do my best to try and illustrate whatever your little minds can come up with. I don't know why, just seeing other people doing this some other day on some random stream, and I said, hey, that's actually pretty cool. This whole suggestion stream thing, like people suggest whatever, and the people go and illustrate whatever. I found it super cool, so I kind of want to try it out. So this is the visible area, more or less. Yes. So yeah, people, you can start whenever. Suggest me things to draw. Keep the idea very broad and general, like, I don't know, random things. Like someone drinking coffee, or a tea, a cup of tea, a happy cup of tea, I don't know. Also, I wrote suggest me things to draw. I don't know if that's grammatically correct. My mind isn't working anymore. Also, is True Music's playing again? It was. Weirdly. Chandler, I don't know, performer who also works in a factory. And still the Tiger Shift, maybe not. Tiger relaxing for the night. Does that mean that you're going? Because if so, I have to say goodnight to you. It's always sad to say goodnight to people. But sure thing, you need your sleep. We're also gonna collapse on top of us. And where do I find my windows? They keep disappearing on me. Yeah. Rainbow the Furry, you should draw more emotes for my stream. I don't think I can have more than 3 emotes right now. I need more subscribers, I think, to allow more emotes. I don't know. Still not yet, don't worry, also was just suggesting. Okay, that's good, but I would advise you guys not to suggest personal characters or things like that. Maybe some broad random character from some series or show you guys like, but not personal characters, because those are always good for one people but not good for everyone. Also, what is a performer exactly? I don't know what a performer is, truly. Gonna draw a guy on a hat. Feels like he's a dude who performs something. A top hat, rather. He's a performer. Also, let's get a very big brush, because I like big brushes for randomly drawing things. And yeah, this is a dude. He wears a hat. He's a very... he works in a factory, so I guess he had a very... he's very bored and very mindless already. He's not super taking care of his appearance anymore. He's kind of like tired. I'm gonna give him a tired look altogether. So he has tired eyes. And he also has a stubble because he like all the same routine every single day. I'm tired. But this is our worker who works in a factory. He also has some stubble because he's super tired. So tired that he doesn't even bother to go and take care of his appearance. What does he works on? What does he performs? He was a magician, I guess, because he is wearing a top hat, or he was into some sort of crazy performance thing. He was performing for big crowds, but now he's a factory worker of some sort. So he still goes around with his whole magician clothes. He has the shirt, the bow tie, everything, but now it looks kind of rugged and scraped. That's not the word. When a clothing article is damaged, what a word for that. That's what his clothes are, because he's been working on this for so long. With the same clothes, in fact. He's not even bothering to change his clothes. So he's on a factory. I don't know what this factory does, what they work with. I'm gonna do I'm gonna draw him kind of just handling random objects. What is he gonna be handling? Maybe like there is a conveyor belt here dragging objects in front of him. What are these objects? What do they convey to him that he might be handling with his bare hands? Sam, why not try to draw Red Panda? Have you done that before? I have drawn Red Pandas before, and like I said, not doing personal characters. Also, I'm keeping to broad ideas, not trying to do something very specific at first. Like, Red Panda is a very broad idea, but I need something broader, like what would the... I mean, something a little more, what would the Red Panda be doing? But then again, that's a very specific ideas without much room for changes and dynamic changes on the fly. I want to change things on the fly, be able to simply go and change what I'm doing right now. On our collaborative drawing, we are all doing it together. Performance is a very broad profession. Theater performance, music performance, street performance, circus performance. The main show could be a fun one. So he already has a hat. So he's this kind of performer, whatever this kind of performer is. And many words for tattered clothes. Still red hot coals, so he's a Christmas worker, kind of. He was a performer. He had dreams of going to Broadway, but now he's found himself on Santa's workshop. He's handling coal, I guess, because Santa decided to stop making toys for children, because many children nowadays are posting nudes online, so they are very naughty children, so he needs to increase the coal production. So Santa Claus is like, okay, let's produce coals instead of toys for children. So he's handling very hot coals, so for that I'm gonna be drawing gloves, very thick gloves. But he's handling hot coals, so what he's doing with the hot coals is actually... What is he doing with the hot coals? They can't simply be on the conveyor belt, he has to be doing something with them. What is it that he's doing with the hot coals? In the meantime, I'm gonna put in some festive, Christmassy decorations on the background. So I don't know anything about Christmas decorations. I guess I'm just gonna be drawing Santa here in the back, being like overseeing his work. This dude who has no name, he's just a tired worker. So let's draw Santa here. Santa is very old duderino, he's super tired, he has wrinkles all over. He's a grumpy Santa. He has a big nose, just because. He has a very big round nose. Yeah, that's our picture of Santa. Whoever has a kind of red-ish nose, very big nose, already gets this grandfather look on their eyes. Santa's so tired that his whole eyes have gone like super tired black or whatever. And wrinkles, more wrinkles. And Rainbow the Furry, I have Photoshop CC 2017, but you're new to digital drawing. Do you recommend you to use another software or not? Photoshop is difficult to use, but I don't think it's worth to use at your level. I don't ever recommend Photoshop for beginners. It is good, but it does a shitload more than you need it to do for digital art. I would recommend you starting with Photoshop CS2. It's a very old Photoshop, but it's very good, because it only has the bare essentials for you to start your work into the digital art. Or you can change to other programs. There is SAI, S-A-I, digital art, a Japanese digital art program. It's very good, but it's very buggy and doesn't have a lot of resources and features. It's very bare bones. It almost looks like an unfinished program, but it's very good on what very little it offers you. It's good to start with digital art because you don't feel tempted to go super fancy with brushes and whatnot. You just use what you have, and that's a good thing for digital artists, especially beginners. Then there's Clip Studio Paint, which is a very good program. It's a kind of a mix between Clip Studio and Photoshop, because between SAI and Photoshop, because it's very simple. It doesn't have a lot of functions. It just has what you need to be able to do your work, just like SAI. It's also very light on your computer, so you don't need the NASA computer to work it, to run it. But it has functions enough that you can do a lot of fancy stuff. It has rulers, it has perspective rules. Not even Photoshop has those. It's pretty good. It has a lot of features that it will be assisting you quite a lot in your digital art endeavors. Supposing Santa wears his hat all day, because why not? What else? Chandler, I believe Clip Studio has a free version, which is good. I don't think it does. I think it has a trial version. For 30 days you can test it out and see if it's a good one. But then again, Clip Studio is very often on sale, so you probably can buy it on a sale for something like $25 if you're lucky enough to find it on sale. But then again, it goes on sale very often, like twice a year it goes on sales. So you can find it pretty easily. So because Santa has been, also he knows people are into very more buff older men, he also has been working out. So he's a Baura Santa kind of thing going on. And Rainbow the Furry, well, I already have a paid version of Photoshop and I'd like to use another full version software. Then go with Clip Studio. Clip Studio is the best for you, I believe. It is the best for starter artists. Also, Clip Studio has so many functions. There must be hidden functions that not even more experienced artists know. So, besides, it's a very good program made thinking about digital artists. Photoshop is kind of a program that is made thinking about photographs who want to go and change their photos a little bit. So, even though it has a lot of brushes and artsy functions, it's more of a program for people who are into editing images already than creating something from a blank canvas. Santa has a belt for no reason, and he also has suspenders because that's the classical Santa. Classical buff Santa is the Santa with suspenders. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Belt and suspenders, so let's go with just the suspenders. The very high up pants, pantaloons. So this is Santa overlooking this very tired performer who's now working on a coal thing? I don't know what this thing is, but Santa's working on this cool thing. And he's, this dude, who has no name, is working on this cool thing and is being overlooked by Santa. Santa is doing a lot of coals because every day more and more bad and naughty boys and girls are coming up, so he needs to stop making toys and increase his cool production. Also, he's been working out, so this is a buff Santa we have going on. It's still leaking them to see how hot they are. Oh boy. So that's what our Duderino is doing. He's licking the coals to see how hot they are. Chandler, digital art in general is hard at first. I think you'll be fine in Photoshop from what I've seen of its UI. It doesn't seem much more complicated than others. Rainbow, okay, let's go for Clip Studio. Thanks, and also thanks to Chandler. Clip Studio is, I like it. I don't very much like Photoshop because it keeps crashing. It's not super good on my computer, and I don't like how it's now a monthly installments program. You can't simply buy it and be done with it. You need to keep paying monthly fees to be able to keep using it. I don't like that approach to things. So I really appreciate what Clip Studio does, which is you buy the program and you keep getting free updates afterwards. Besides, it's much cheaper than Photoshop. And it's a program made for artists, so it gets all the benefits. I hope you guys will appreciate it for how it is. So he's gonna be licking those hot coals, so he's got his tongue sticking out. And I think he also has a kind of a sad look because it's like, oh no, not this again. And let's also cover him with black soot from all the coal he's been handling and leaking after I'm done with this. And Sam, what's happening? I'm just drawing this dude who's leaking coals for Santa. He was a performer. He still wears his performer uniform, but now he leaks coals for Santa because Santa needs coal for the naughty children to keep sending nudes for others on programs such as Telegram and Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter and all the other things. Also, it's super quiet without the musics. What did you guys do with the musics? Okay, so now this is it. This is a factory line inside Santa's workshop. It's not super festive anymore because Santa decided to go and change the whole way he operates his business. His busy business. And this is what we have going on now. This is our story. Hooray, everyone, we made the drawing together. Still, he is the anti-Santa. No, he's the grumpy Santa. The anti-Santa is Krampus. And what has this stream become? First we talk about our day, then we talk about name and manga, then anime and manga, then we finish the page and now we have someone leaking coal for Santa. If my mind were a Twitch chat, says Chandler. And honor us all from Spotify, which is not open, so I have to open it so the program can play it. But the program is super bugged. I don't know what's happening here, but weird things are happening. Also, I think your song was skipped, Chandler. Because this program doesn't know what's up. And anyway, let's finish this drawing by drawing in the black suit. As I said, this dude was a performer, but now he's leaking coal for Santa, so his clothes and his everything is filled with coal dust. Also, his tongue is very burned already from all the coal he's been leaking. The poor dude. Also, this Duderino, he's the sad Duderino, he needs a name. What's gonna be his name? What do you guys think? We should name him. This poor dude. He had dreams, you know. He wanted to be a performer. He was a performer at some point. Maybe he wasn't a very successful one. Then he changed his ways. And now he's ended up in Santa's workshop, licking coal. But what was his name before all of this happened? Or what is still his name? What are we gonna be calling him? With this little collaborative sketch we all did, hooray for cooperation, I guess that the stream is over. It's time for us to say our farewells, as Sam would say. And each and every one of us had to go their own way, unfortunately. Sam, we shall call him Karlinsk. And Chandler, Gerald or Gerald. And Chandler, it's been real, it's been fun, it's been real fun. So he is Gerald Karlinsk, the amazing and underpaid and under-recognized cool liquor. Actually no, Santa's cool liquor. How do you spell Santa again? We go like this. Actually no, this is the wrong pencil. Santa's cool liquor. And Sam also it's time to say our farewells. They're saying goodbyes to you all. Sure thing, Sam. I'll be seeing you guys later. And Satan. Oh, silly me, I misspelled Santa. It's Santa. Santa's cool liquor. There we go. Couldn't be better. Gerald Karlinsk, Santa's cool liquor. Chandler, hello, screenshot this. I will be posting this on the Discord channel so everyone can enjoy this. And welcome to Hellcats. But this is it for today, everyone. Thank you so very much for every single one of you lovely boys and girls who were here today. To everyone who's been saying hi's, saying hellos, to everyone who's been talking, and to every one of you who's also been lurking. I had a shitload of fun today. I got to finish the comic, I did some art, which you guys requested. I might get around to doing even more art because that seems to be what you guys like to see me do. And what else? Yes, if I still have most of you guys' attention, below this thing here that is the stream window, there are some links below. There's the Discord where you guys can join and watch, chat with us when the streams is not happening. Also, I'm gonna be posting this drawing over there. And if you're an artist yourself, join the Discord. We evaluate drawings there and we roast them. We roast them into coals, pretty much. And we also give tips and very honest and very earnest helpful critic. We try our best to help all the artsy friends we have. Down below there's also some other links that you guys can follow me. There's the Discord I already said, there's a Twitter, there's a place where I post my comics, there's a shitload of stuff and information down below. You guys can go there and see what's up. And have fun in general. Still, thanks for letting us watch again. It's actually I'm the one who should be thanking every single one of you, awesome boys and girls, who join my streams and do so much fun things in here with us. Mark, thanks for streaming, buddy. Thank you for being here. You're awesome. Chandler roast law. Not really. We don't roast artists. We try our best to help them. But anyway, that was it for today, everyone. I'm gonna be posting this later on Discord. And since this was it for today, let me see if there's some other awesome boys and girls, or people rather, that I can direct you to, because there's a shitload of awesome people every single day out there, and you guys should go and watch them, because they're pretty cool people as well. I don't know if you guys, how much into art you guys are. I guess a lot. So what do you know? Cat Sketch is sketching, it would seem, which is I forgot her name. The King Cat. She's streaming art, so you guys should go and watch her if you want to see more artsy things. So that was it for today, everyone. My name was Douglas, and it was an awesome pleasure to have all of you beautiful boys and girls here with me today. I'll be seeing you next time. Probably next week, on Monday. I'll be seeing you guys later. Bye bye.
Dark.
Cat.
Se fosse quase 8 horas.
Sim, sim. Quase 8. Eu gotta go to God.
Eu ia jogar o Vermintide.
Eu vou botar o texto na página nova e vou postar no Patreon.
O
Daí...
que a gente vai jantar?
O que ele quer jantar? Quer que eu faça comida? Comida como em sanduíche?
Não. Vou pedir comida então, se você
Dá pra fritar vários ovos e trazer ovo frito. A gente come ovos fritos.
Agora que hoje que eu lembrei que eu tenho aquele meu cartão do ticket, né? Tem que usar ele, faz uns 3 meses que a gente não usa, já tem uns R$1.000 aqui.
O ticket de refeição?
É.
Temos que usá-lo então.
E eu trouxe meu bagulhinho de quase de volta. Assim. E a gente ainda tá sendo assaltado na luz.
Por quê? Assaltado. Eita! 803 reais. Consumo 507 kilowatts.
Acho que o preço aumentou, porque eu tava olhando, a gente gastava tipo isso no verão, sempre vinha 200 e pouco.
Ou tá em alguma coisa do tipo.
Que o negócio da bandeira vermelha, bandeira preta, em teoria era pra ser só em
Janeiro.
Só em janeiro, né?
Acho que eles expandiram os meses por razão, não sei.
Tarifas de energia elétrica tiveram um reajuste médio de 29,29% para os consumidores do grupo B a partir de 21 de 12 de 2017.
Consumidores do grupo B.
Gente, é alguns.
Seria o quê? Residências? Apartamentos?
Eu não sei se esses grupos são por uso, né? Ou se é por quantidade de consumo.
A minha pergunta se é do tipo, residências e pessoas normais, não é tipo lojas, indústrias e afins. Porque eu sei que lojas, indústrias, algumas elas têm consumos diferentes. Mas o que tu quer pedir de mim, então?
Em março de 2017, aparentemente, a gente consumiu 908.
Pois é, mas não veio tão caro assim, né? Ou veio e a gente pagou
Só
e
se é porque débito automático também, sempre eu vejo.
Pois é. Aí não diz, né? Quanto foi em reais.
Mas o preço agora é 0,78 por quilowatt.
0,78.